Shallow cranking, let's talk about that as a whole. Probably one of the most versatile techniques that you can do on the water, as well as effectiveness in locating bass. Just about any time I hit the lake, mainly lakes more so than rivers and more so than rivers. When anytime I hit the lake, one of the first lures that I grab is some form of a shallow water crankbait, whether it be a rattle trap, a square bill crankbait, something like the MR6, a mid-range. And the reason being is because the majority of the fish that you're going to catch, specifically with largemouth, live in probably, I'd say, in the top 10 foot in the water, 0 to 10 feet. That's where we catch a lot of our fish. And so I can cover a lot of water very quickly and very effectively with shallow running crankbaits. And so that's something that I always go to as soon as I hit the lake. It gives me a good idea of what's going on out there. I can get a good feel for what the fish are doing with a shallow running crankbait. Really, really like throwing those. Let's talk about the tackle and equipment that you need in order to be a successful shallow cranker. I got them listed up there: rods, reels, line, and electronics. Again, I'm not going to try to sell you guys on any particular brand of rods or reels. Whatever you are comfortable with. The important part is the confidence in your equipment. That's the most important, just having the confidence in the equipment in which you have. The square bill is a really unique crankbait out of all the different crankbaits. It is what I call the ATV, or the four-wheel drive crankbait. It's the muscle crankbait, because you can put that bait in places that you can't put anything else. You can throw a square bill crankbait literally in a treetop and reel it out and catch a fish doing that. You can't do that with any other bait. You can fish it on rocks and things like that as well, but square bills don't get that deep. They pretty much get 2 to 4 foot. So when you get in different scenarios, other crankbaits kind of take precedent in its place. But, if I know I'm going to be fishing wood in particular, stumps, lay down logs, dock posts, things like that, the square bill is likely going to be the choice initially anyways. I'll play with a few other baits, but the square bill is definitely going to be my choice when I know for sure I'm going to be putting it in some tight places, in some heavy cover. Rattle traps and lipless style baits, these are baits, in my opinion, for covering large, expansive areas of water. Oftentimes grass flats, really common, or even just shallow pebble rock, chunk rock, but generally a vast area of shallow water. That's when I really, really like to use a rattle trap. Lake Guntersville is a great example of that in Alabama, about 3 hours from where I live. I get up there quite a bit. It's a notorious rattle trap lake, but it has several different types of grasses in it: eelgrass, hydrilla, and milfoil. And the fish really, really thrive in that, and they get out on these grass flats. And you don't know where they're at on this grass flat, but you know they're here. So in order to cover all this water, the best technique is to get out there and fan cast a rattle trap, to be quite honest. And then you just pay attention to where you get bit, and you'll find little pods of them. And then you can sit there and well on them. But a rattle trap really excels in a scenario like that.
How do you make it weedless?
I'm sorry?
How do you make it weedless?
How do you make the rattle trap weedless, he asks? Well, a trap is pretty weedless by itself. I think what you're hitting at is my tip from my last my last presentation I did, and I'm going to get to that too. That's coming up here in a little bit. But a trap is pretty weedless by itself. Like in a scenario like that, I wouldn't do anything with the hooks. I throw a trap straight like it is, but I'm really aggressive with it, snapping it, out of the grass to keep it up and out and clear. But and then we have our mid-range crankbait, which is like my MR6. And so initially, right off the bat, you can see the bill shape difference. This has more of like a spoon bill, more of a old school look to it versus the square bill. Now, you throw this guy in a treetop, you're not gonna get it back because it's really not designed for that. You're likely to get snagged with this bait right here. This is something a little bit deeper in more of a
Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluzek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Subscribe today.